Coming up, we'll be on location in Baltimore, Maryland, discussing the benefits of transformational coaching and how it can effectively help improve your life, your relationships, career, as well as your overall well-being with one of this region's top life and health coaches, Jason Green. Welcome, Jason. It's a pleasure having you on our program today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's your first time, in fact, on with us. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to be hearing from one of your clients a bit later. But I wanted to begin, Jason, if I may, by having you please talk about your unique approach that you utilize to transformational life coaching that is effectively helping so many folks in the community throughout the region, in fact, and beyond the DMV because of your virtual services, that is really helping folks improve their personal relationships, their professional careers, as well as helping your clients improve their overall health and wellness. After all, you are a certified life and health coach, and we're certainly looking forward to having you tell us about this.
Thank you. So as you mentioned, I am a certified health and life coach, and what that means is that I meet with a client, and the goal in that first session is to uncover what it is that is stopping them from being their best and most authentic self. And it's almost like waving a magic wand. We ask them, if you could wave a magic wand, what would you see for your life? And from there, we build a custom plan to get them to that end result of being their best self.
I love that. You do an initial consult, you find out where they are, where he or she wants to go, right? Where they want to go.
Right.
And then you customize the appropriate plan and tailor it according to the needs and desires of each of your individual clients to help them realize and achieve their goals.
Exactly. What's so important about that is because we often want to think that there's a one fit for everyone. And what I've found is that it's different for each person.
That's right.
Their abilities, their capabilities, where they are in their life, their experiences. And so we always want to find what it is that sets that person apart and what it is that they need so that we can build a plan that focuses on their individual specific needs.
Yes, because even though we may have similar desires and wants and issues and troubles or whatever it may be that we're dealing with internally, personally, in relationships, in our careers, we're still all unique individuals. And that's where you bring that unique, customized approach.
Yes.
And I understand you utilize a holistic approach where you really look to help your clients improve their overall well-being, mind, body, and spirit.
That's correct. And so, in coaching, we typically find that people fall into what we call the big five. So there's usually one area or a combination of areas where they need help. And that big five is health, their career, their finances, love and relationships, or their connection to that which is greater. And by that which is greater, I mean their connection to a higher being, whatever they want to call that.
Yes, indeed. Now, what can cause some of these issues in the big five, is that term you just utilized, to occur in the first place?
Simply put, Rocco, it's life.
Yeah.
Our experiences, what we're taught, how we're brought up, what our parents tell us, what our church tells us. And so part of my process and part of the beauty of coaching is that oftentimes we find that people need to unlearn some of the things that they've been taught. And that's the biggest thing that I think that keeps people stuck. And once they realize that changing that mindset, changing their behaviors, having the right system, the right support, and the right accountability, their life changes exponentially.
Yes, indeed, because after all, we go through our journeys in life. Occasionally, At one time or another,
Right.
we go a little left, we may go veer a little to the right, a little further than we want. So guess what? We need that coaching, that nudge, that guidance to help us. Just like when we go to the gym, it's hard to do it each time by ourselves.
Right.
When you have a health coach, a personal trainer right there with you, right?
Right.
To help us, that obviously adds to it.
Absolutely.
Same thing here. In health coaching, life coaching, you're a transformational coach after all.
Yeah.
You really are impacting so many folks' lives.
And the thing, I think, Rocco, the thing that I think people need to realize is that, oftentimes we feel like we have to make these huge steps in order to move to a different place. One of the things that I teach, and one of the things that I live by, is that little hinges swing big doors. And so it's those little steps that are going to get us, again, to the place that we want to be.
Yes, indeed. So with all that being said, Jason, I wanted to ask you, what are some of the most effective strategies that are available, that you utilize, tools in your toolbox, if I may use that term,
Absolutely.
to really help your clients?
So one of the biggest tools that we use is what's called the Wheel of Life. And on the Wheel of Life, there's a series of circumstances, situations, conditions, and we want to connect the dots. And when we connect the dots on that circle, that Wheel of Life, we may see where sometimes the circle isn't as spherical as it should be or could be. And so it's those areas that usually trigger us and point us to that's where we need to start. That's where the work begins. And so we use that tool to determine a starting point for our program.
I see. And how then is that tool and other tools that you offer implemented? What would be the next step in that process?
So with the program, which is a 90-day program,
Okay.
so there are 12 weekly one-on-one sessions. And in those sessions, we always start with what's going well. That puts us in the best frame of mind, right? And then we coach through obstacles and coach through challenges. And then we often, in each session, bring in a new exercise. And that exercise is what drills home what we have learned. And so from there, we give action items every week. And we coach on those action items. And every week we talk about those action items that we had from the previous week, and we build on them until the very end, where our goal is that what we have learned becomes our natural behavior. Because sometimes we're accustomed to doing things a certain way.
Right.
And that's usually what keeps us stuck. When we learn to look at them differently and perform differently, consistently, that's where we see the real change.
Yes, indeed. Then that becomes who we are.
Exactly.
And it becomes like muscle memory, if I
Right.
may use that term.
Right.
It becomes a reflex. Because enough time, that's where that length of time
Exactly.
and the regularity, consistency of your program and the reinforcements continuing to come.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have to want to make that change.
Exactly.
It is a true partnership, right?
Right.
Between you and each of your clients. Anything in life, when we're looking to take a step forward, when we're looking to improve, whatever it may be, we have to be willing to do what's necessary
Right.
to take that step.
And we have to be willing to be vulnerable.
Yes.
And to be honest about where we are. And there are times where I am sure my client wants to slap me, right? Because I'm holding them accountable. And I think that's the thing that a lot of us are missing,
Yes.
is that there's no one to hold us accountable to where we want to be.
I wanted to ask you, Jason, what type of results are your clients experiencing? And again, I put in the disclaimer that everyone's different, and they have to, like I said a few moments ago, be also wanting to take that step with you, coaching them and helping them. But typically speaking, what are your clients seeing?
So what I envision is I want the client to be reflective, first of all. I want them to understand what it is that they want. And I always tell my client, you are the only you. You are the only you. And so you're obligated in a sense. You're expected to be the best version of you possible. And sometimes we need help doing that. And so I want to be that person that you can lean on, that holds you accountable, and that moves you towards being the best possible version of yourself.
Absolutely. They certainly, from our feedback that we've gotten from speaking to a number of folks, you're really helping a lot of folks. That's why we were really looking forward to having you on today. But speaking of results, we're now going to hear from Dawana, who is a client of Jason's.
What brought me to Jason is that I was experiencing weight gain from COVID. Jason and I, we worked together, and he came in, he was I noticed a difference in him, and he said that he was starting life coaching. And I told him that is something that I think I needed because of the weight gain that I had through COVID. There was times that I looked in the mirror and I didn't like what I was seeing. My confidence was very low. I didn't like the clothes that I were wearing. I started wearing big clothes. It was very hard for me at that time. Jason helped me. He gave me the confidence that I needed. He walked me through every process of life coaching. He explained to me that it's okay to gain weight. It's okay to accept for who you are right now as a person. He taught me that instead of exercising, change the word exercising to movement, because we all don't like to exercise. I'm not gonna say we all, well, I don't like to exercise. And just changing exercise to movement helped me prioritize myself for at least 30 minutes through an hour of having that movement. And Jason helped me through that. Him getting me here to where I am now, I am a better person. I accept it if I have weight gain or if I do have weight loss. I am perfectly fine with it. My confidence is amazing. I love the person that I am, and if it wasn't for Jason, I wouldn't be where I am today. I recommend Jason because he listens. He is a phenomenal person. A life coach. He's amazing at what he does. But at the end of the day of my journey, and he was with me every step of the way, that I also gained a forever friend.
We're now back with Jason. I must say, a very impressive client testimonial that we just heard from Dawana. You really have impacted her for the better. Her whole self-image of herself has evolved and changed in a very positive manner based on your coaching and your guidance and your help. And she is one of several and many examples, for that matter, from people we've spoken with of the kind of work you're doing.
You know, that is the beauty of my job, and I get to see people shine. And there's nothing more fulfilling than seeing someone live their best life and live it on their terms.
Absolutely, Jason. And I know earlier you mentioned it's a 12-week program with weekly sessions, which is your typical program, proven, obviously, with very strong results for many of your clients. But are there extensions to that 12 weeks? Because I know each person is different. Some may need more than that, some may need less, or can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. Say it's our 12th session. Somewhere in between, oftentimes we find that priorities change, goals change. I'm hopeful that my clients renew, and that is because we continue working on either whether it's something, the same issue, or we build on that and we continue working on other issues as well. The key is recognizing when you've accomplished or gotten to a point where what you are attempting to change becomes natural, right? It's like drinking water. Then other things may come up. And so we continue that. We continue working on whatever additional thing that comes up. Because I'm a firm believer that the way we do one thing is how we do everything. And so we just continue applying those same principles to other areas of our life.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's where your clients, it's not like it's 12 weeks, you've impacted them
Right.
in a very positive manner. They've resolved that particular issue or issues that they may have come to you initially for help and guidance on. But then you're always there for them,
Absolutely.
as you just mentioned, even way beyond that or even through their lives.
Correct.
Because new issues can pop
Right.
up, changes can occur, and we need that coaching to help us along the way.
We do.
We're now literally out of time, Jason, but I wanted to ask you, before I let you go, you and your coaching practice, Spirit and Truth Coaching, located in the Baltimore, Maryland region, certainly have established a reputation for excellence. As we have already said, you're helping and positively impacting so many folks in the community throughout the DMV region and beyond. I just wanted to ask you what you feel again, help separate you and your coaching expertise and practice apart from the others.
I think the thing that separates me from my colleagues is my ability to empathize with what people are going through. I know that I had a very challenged childhood, and it's the beauty of coaching and the beauty of what I do is I get to bring all of my experiences to the table, and I get to use them in a way that benefits other people. And there's no greater pleasure than that.
Yes, indeed. Well, on that note, I'd like to thank you, Jason, for joining us, educating us, enlightening us, and being a guest in our program. It was certainly a great pleasure having you on with us. In fact, we'd love to have you back on in the future.
I'd love to be back.
Thank you.
Thank you.